Good morning, everyone. I'm not quite fully awake yet. Oh boy. Oh boy, it's Monday. There we go. Whoa. Sorry, everyone. I'm having English breakfast tea this morning. About 15 ounces of it. Because I have to be at work a little early today. And yeah. This is an early day for me. It's good, but it's strong. I imagine any minute now it's going to really kick me in the ass. Okay, so how was your weekend? I hope yours was really good. Mine was alright. Mine was, mine was okay. Did a couple private readings this weekend. As always, if you'd like one of your own, links in the description down below. You can go through. There's actually a lot of really good stuff in the link in the description box. It's not just a brief description of the video. I've got places you can get raw gemstones like the black tourmaline you see that's forming the protective barrier and weighing down the triquetra here. Things like this piece of opal sitting on my on top of my Starseed Oracle deck. Chunks of quartz like what's on my crystal grid here. And guess what? Not very expensive, but I mean, you're paying for raw gemstones, not the polished type. So I got things like that down there. I've got places you can get the same tea I'm drinking. Places where you can find me online. And I've had an idea for a live stream. And I may just do it this Saturday at 8 p.m. on highfivin.com. So if you haven't signed up for a Highfivin account, a speakyourmindhere.com account, a pill.net account, do so. That's mostly where I hang out. I do tend to hang out on Twitter too, but not not as much. I don't really I've kind of pulled back from social media a little bit lately. I really have. And that's not because of any negative backlash. It's just I needed to unplug a little bit. You know that feeling. Anyway, let's get right down to this. Let's find out what's going on today. Oh man, that nut. I'm pretty sure I need a trip to the chiropractor. Anyway, who is our guide for today? Goddess of love and war, Freya herself. You know, she's also a very passionate, one of the most passionate of the Vanir goddesses. And I've kind of noticed something as of late. You've got Odin, Frigg, and Thor, the Aesir gods, and they tend to be sort of elemental, while Vanir gods, like Freya and her brother Yngve Freyr, can be very human-centered. I believe that's, I believe that's the best way I can describe it. But both have been known to sort of, especially Freyr, he dabbles in the realm of human fertility. Also harvest and things like that as well. Just, they have a more personal relationship with us. So who is our spirit animal for today? And we have a sandpiper. So we're being told to not take life so seriously. Let's be a little playful today. Well, when I wake up, I sure will be, I imagine. I imagine by the time I get to work, I'm going to be like flying. Because there's a lot of caffeine in this English breakfast tea. Now, let's get down to it. What does our tarot hold for us today? So apparently, loving and being playful is the modality of the day. That's where we're going. That's what we're doing. I'm good with that. Let's see what we got. Alright, so we've got a Queen of Wands. That is some serious creative energy there. We have a Ten of Swords. Looking like a little transformation is going to go on. And we have a Ten of Coins. You know, it's strange, but these three cards actually came up in... these three cards came up over the weekend. And yes, you did read that mug right. It did say fuck it all. That is my prescription. It never expires and I have plenty of refills. Those refills never end, by the way. Alright, so that Queen of Wands, that is a definite creative passion, ferocity, and confidence. Definitely pointing at Freya today. We are being told to pursue our passions, looks like. Got that transformation going on, and then we've got that Ten of Coins. That Ten of Coins, I can tell you, it does lend itself to a lot of excess. But there's also wealth and generosity and even legacy in the Ten of Coins. Which, that's something we tend to want. We do tend to want that legacy and that wealth, but we also tend to overdo it a little bit, don't we? But we will experience some difficulty last minute. But I am seeing more of a, especially with this little small pride here, I do see some more legacy than anything. So this is sort of like transformative and releasing, where we're coming to the end of something. So it's, to me, if this were the spread on, say, Friday, it would make a lot more sense to me. But that's why we have these oracle cards and things like that to help us make sense of that sort of thing. So let's see what else we got here. We do have star ancestors. This is starting to look like one of the private readings I did this weekend. We have I'm sorry. And we have perspective. Okay. Starting to get a little more clear now. It's not the legacy that we're creating. It's the legacy upon which we're focused. The legacy of those that came before us. I don't know if you know this, but sometimes creating the world being that change that you want to see does mean that you will piss some people off. Just plain and simple. Sometimes you piss your own spirits off. This card doesn't mean that you're sitting there apologizing to everyone and groveling at their feet and begging their forgiveness. What this means is you may have to make right your own self to your own ancestry and the legacy they left behind. And you may have to kind of look at a much larger picture to see exactly what that looks like. Today is going to be especially trying in that area. I can tell you that right now. Today is going to be really trying in that area. If you're one of those people who have had a tradition of military service, you may want to look and see what the best of your ancestors did and what the worst of your ancestors may have done. I would say go with the best and improve where you can. That would be my advice. So to close this off, we do have our runes still left. We have Awaz, which is forward movement. We have Manas, which is personal development. This is where if you want to move forward, you do have to develop. And we have Rider-Waite. It is really appropriate that Rider-Waite comes up in the same layout as Awaz, because that is all about, while this is about forward movement, this is about more the journey than the destination. And there's also more than one way to get there. Consider all your options, because the longer of the two paths may intersect with the shorter of the two. If your growth, if your own personal growth, your own visionary skill would be benefited by the shorter of the two paths, take the shorter. If you would grow even more by taking the longer of the two paths, well, take the longer path. But remember, don't take things so seriously. I'm not really looking at someone in like military or law enforcement service here. That was just an example that came up. One of the things that I am looking at is, how are you going to create the positive change in the world if you won't create it within you first? You're the shortest path to that destination. You have to embody it, and it has to be self-evident whenever you present yourself. And it's important that you don't take yourself entirely too seriously. I mean, look, there are children at play in this card. Remember to kind of be a little bit like them. Approach the world with a bit of childlike love today. It's not really going to hurt you too bad. I know, I came up Monday, but honestly, today is not looking all that bad. It has to be a state of mind first. So perhaps it would be a good idea for me to get out of that frame of mind and into one of, alright, I've got this. And I think caffeine's going to help. So, remember, be playful. have a sense of perspective. Look at what your ancestors of the past did right and improve on what they didn't. Innovate. Play around with things a little bit. Play around with some concepts. Keep moving, whatever you do. If you can't do the full 10 push-ups, do half of one. If you can't even do that, try to keep moving as much as you can. Just as an example. But anyway, that's really all I have for you today. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here and get this thing baking and all that other good stuff. We've just experienced the death of one week and the beginning of another. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you guys. It's great to see you after this weekend. Great to be back on the couch, right here at the coffee table, doing this with you. I hope this resonated with you. I hope it lit you up as it did me. Whatever you do today, make sure that you stay lit up. Don't let anyone dim you. And as always, my friends, shine on.